Hey there, everyone. Ed here. Hope you're doing well today. So today we are talking about more effective training. By the way, if you want a copy of the worksheet, there's a worksheet I'm going to share with you during this quick training. If you want a copy of this training, type the word training below, and I'll go ahead and get you a copy. If you happen to be watching this from my website, just click on the download button below and we'll shoot it right over to you. So training. So if you are dealing with training in your factory, your operation, and what usually happens, right, is you have a new employee come into the company, into the department, or you might have an employee coming from a different department into this department, right? And you have to train them. Training is one of the very first things that we do when we have new employees. And typically what happens is, and there's nothing wrong with this, but typically what happens is we will pair up that individual with the experienced person in the area. That's the best way to do it. Totally no problem with that. However, what can happen is when we only lean on the job training and we only lean on that experienced individual who has all that tribal knowledge in their mind to transfer the information over to this person, we leave ourselves open. There's some exposure that we have specifically around a few things, right? The first one is if you are letting this experienced person be the only method to transfer information to a new person doing a job, then performance management becomes a challenge, right? So you actually get unpredictable performance, perhaps. Again, you're relying on this other experienced person solely to train. Then if they miss a step, if they, something happens, right, then and the training doesn't go as well as planned, then this new person is, kind of, they're not sure if they're doing the job correctly or not. So therefore, performance of the individual as well as the job is at stake, right? The second thing is when you don't show someone all of the correct steps. Again, if this experienced person is doing this and they miss a step, and then later you come in, supervisor comes in, and there's an issue where this new employee is not performing well, right? Well, it could have been that they were just not taught how to do the job properly. And it becomes then difficult to hold them accountable, right? We get frustrated when this happens because we have a new person who we hired, we brought in, and they appear to not be performing. And therefore, we get frustrated and we want to hold them accountable, but we're not quite sure if they actually were even trained properly, right? So accountability becomes quite difficult. And the third thing that can happen is when someone new comes into an area and we train them and we don't train them properly, if we missed a step, right, when problems arise in that area, we often think immediately that the problem has to do with the person, right? And it could be a performance issue and it could be a capability issue, but it could also just be an issue that the process is not being followed because that individual was not shown the proper process to actually work through to achieve the task, right? So what winds up happening is we have this gray area between, is the problem person related or people related, or is it truly a process issue, right? And so the problem solving becomes very, very difficult. And ultimately what we really want, right, is we want to just, when new people come into an area, into our company, we want to have faster, more effective training, right? We want to make sure that we have consistent and predictable performance, but both of the process and of the person that's coming in, right? And then when we do this, right, ultimately what happens is morale is increased, right? Not only with the new person coming in, they really enjoy working in the job, they enjoy working in the company, but all the employees that are working around this new person, they're happier, right? They're less stressed because they don't have to always be helping the new person. So what do we need to do, right, in order to make sure that we don't fall into this training sort of trap, right? When we're only leaning on the experienced person. Well, there's three things. The first one is we need to standardize the best way, and I call it the best way, and I'll get to that in a second. The second thing is we need to train, and we need to actually hold people accountable after we train them on that best way. And then the third thing is that we need to then constantly be improving upon results. So let me kind of walk through each of those. By the way, I'm going to go through a worksheet here in a moment. If you want to copy the worksheet, type in the word training below. If you're watching this on my website, you can just click on the download button below and grab a copy. So the first thing, right? standardizing the best way. So again, if we think of that experienced individual who really performs the job really, really well, well, they have that what we call tribal knowledge in their mind, right? Maybe you've used this term, maybe you've heard this term in your operation. Tribal knowledge is that thing that the experienced people sort of hold in their mind, right? Like they're really good at doing a particular activity or a particular task, but we want to extract that out, right? And we want to get that tribal knowledge out, and we want to actually get it out, and we want to actually document the best way of doing the task, right, or doing the activity. So obviously you're going to leverage the experienced people that are performing the task or performing the activity to pull out that best way. Another thing you can do, and I highly recommend this, super easy to do, especially this day and age with technology, is grab your phone, right? These phones here are super high tech. I mean, there's like a cinema camera in these phones. Grab a phone, grab the experienced individuals, go and record the activity. And the reason this is important is then later you can actually work with the experienced individual and create the best way. You can document the best way of doing the activity, right? And when you watch it on video, you will see things that you won't see live in an action, and you also won't capture if you strictly just go start sitting down and writing down a training document, I promise you, you will miss steps. So recording something is a very, very effective way of capturing the best way. The other thing that happens when you record this the best way, and you're extracting that tribal knowledge out of these individuals, is you now have a video. You have a video that can actually work in combination with a document, right? Which I'm going to show you here in a second, a very easy document you can use. You have a video that can go along with a document to then train new people, right? So maybe if it's a 5, 10, 15-minute task or 30 minutes, whatever it is, you can now ask the new person to watch the video, and then they have the document in front of them to actually follow the training. So record it, go through the steps with the talented or the experienced individuals, and document it, right? And again, I'll show you a worksheet here on how to document that. Super easy worksheet. And again, if you want to copy that, just type the word training below and I'll get you a copy, or on my website and click download. So once you've created the standard work and you have the best way documented, you have this tribal knowledge out on paper and in a video form, right? The next thing is just to train people, right? So train the new employees that come in. Maybe you should retrain some people that are in that area as well. And then also start holding people accountable. So train and hold people accountable. Super simple. Holding people accountable. I have other videos that talk about this, performance management, holding people accountable, but pretty simple. Once you train someone, they watch the video, they go through the training, then holding people accountable can be as simple as, if you feel like someone's not performing well, then you go back to the training document, go back to the video, and you retrain them, right? It's a good way to reinforce good habits. And so training and holding people accountable, pretty straightforward. And then the last thing here, which I mentioned already, is improving upon results. So once you have the standard work, the training document, you have a video, and then everyone is trained and you're holding people accountable, everyone's working well together. Now it's time to actually improve upon the results, right? If you have an activity that people are working on, and they're following the standard, and you want to increase performance in that area for whatever reason, whatever it could be, well, now you have the documents, you have the video to do it, and you can actually start problem solving. So knowing what the current state is and making sure people are following the process on a repeatable, consistent basis allows you to then improve upon that new standard, right? And then you can create a new video, right? Once you problem solve and come up with a better way to do it, and do a new document that goes along with it. So this is an ongoing process, an ongoing cycle. So hopefully that makes sense. So standardize the best way, record it with video, train and hold people accountable, and then improve upon results. So let me go ahead. I'm going to show you the worksheet. Like I said, it's super simple. It's a one-page document. It's going to be really easy to show you. If you want a copy of this, then go ahead and type the word training below, and I will get you a copy of that. If you're watching this on my website, you can just click on the download button below also. Okay, so let's go ahead and show you this here real quick. Hopefully this is helping. Is this helping? Yeah, cool. All right, awesome. So non-tribal training. So we call this non-tribal training for a reason, right? So we want to make sure we extract the tribal training out of individuals' minds, right? The experienced, talented people in our operation, and make it not so much about tribal, right? And make it actually a standard that is owned by the company, right, and by the team. So super easy. This is like literally a one-page thing, and you can download this, print it out, replicate it, recreate it, whatever you want to do. But the idea is pretty simple here. So again, once we record the training with the experienced people on a particular activity, we're going to watch the recording together, and then we want to document it down on paper. And this is where this is a good tool that you can use to document the training, right? The operation sequence is pretty basic. These are like the high level step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, etc. The steps are dependent on how long the process takes, and then the key points are going to be like 2 or 3 bullet points for that operation sequence that need to be followed in order for that operation sequence to then be performed properly. On the illustrations column, so this column over here, so illustrations, when you record that video, and you don't need to be a video editing expert, but there's a lot of cool tools out there. I'm happy to help you with this if you need any help. But you can actually take the video and grab snapshots of the video at certain points in the video and turn it into a picture, and then just paste it right in this document. I mean, super easy to do. And now you've killed multiple birds with one stone, right? So you're able to get the operation sequence, the key points, and then the illustrations all from that one video. So again, the operation sequence is going to be whatever the step is. Then you're going to have a couple of bullet points in here that kind of define what that particular step is, and so on and so forth. Some of these things at the bottom here, so these are sort of things that we like to do, just a record of change. If you do happen to update this, right, it's kind of nice to have that. Signatures are a good way to make sure that you're holding, that you actually train someone. They're going to sign it. The operator is going to sign it, or whoever has been trained. And then safety considerations is always a very important thing. So for this particular activity, you want to highlight, again, 2 or 3 sort of high level safety considerations for that particular activity. It may be lockout, tagout, it may be personal protective equipment, et cetera. So you just want to kind of, define what those things are here. So, so hopefully that's helpful. Again, the idea here is we want to make sure that we are grabbing that tribal knowledge, right, out of those experienced individuals' minds, right? We want to make sure that we can do faster and effective training, consistent and predictable performance management, and then increase employee morale. And we do that by standardizing the best way to do it, training and holding people accountable, and then improving upon results, and sort of moving towards that continuous improvement, world-class culture that we're looking for. So again, if you want a copy of the worksheet, it's super simple. Just type in the word training below, or you can just download using the link. There's a download button on my website if you happen to be watching this on my website. So hopefully this is helpful. Feel free to share this with anyone you like that might be able to use this. This is for free. This is for you to have. And if there's any way I can help you, help you build training documents, or if you have any questions about this particular process, feel free to reach out to me, and I'd be happy to help. Otherwise, take care and have a great rest of your day. All right, bye.